Good evening, everyone. I understand a lot of you will probably be watching this later and not live. This is a bit of emergency. We're not really that prepared, and I'm going to watch Planet of the Apes later. So we thought we'd give you some kind of reaction right now. First of all, I want everyone to shout this man out in the comments. It's Mr. B. He's absolutely disgusted at the timing of this, but it's always a delight to see you, my friend. Okay, so Dora, you didn't know what was happening 10 minutes ago. Now you're up to speed. Tell me everything that's going on.
Well, there has been a report by Guardian, if I'm not mistaken, that Ten Hag is going to get sacked after the cup final, regardless of the result. This, it doesn't matter if he wins it or not; he is gone. I mean, we saw a lot of reports today after that news. For example, someone like Henry Winter, if I'm not mistaken, football journalist, who is, comparing the situation with Louis van Gaal. It's very reminiscent of that in 2016, and it seems that he is correct because we are seeing the same, situation, not necessarily the same situation, but similar situation to Louis van Gaal in 2016. How do I feel? Well, you know what, I would be really mad, especially because these reports are coming 1 day, 2 days before the cup finals. And I think it's a disgrace from the English media. They're obviously, doing it on purpose. They're trying to stir something up, which is, it is what it is, right? United, are always going to be hated, always going to be, the I don't know. I mean, the main theme or the main topic of every headline, sport headline in the country, and it's sad. It's sad and it's frustrating to see because despite what most of the fan base think, despite what we think it's going to happen tomorrow, I think it's a dirty move and a low blow to report this kind of stuff a day before final. When it comes to
I don't want to get too much into that, and I will. I'm going to say hello to Matty Bassett first of all. I hope that this hasn't ruined your evening kebab, Matty. Everyone is expressing that this is a joke, and you're completely correct to bring up the Louis van Gaal situation. What I will say about the press, right, is that this feels to me very reminiscent of Jurgen Klopp, where we have lots of stories going around. One of them is the two sort of main stories we have is that Erik ten Hag was told before the Arsenal game that he was going to be sacked. And the second story that's flying around is that Ineos have tried to renegotiate a contract with Ten Hag, removing a lot of his power, such as veto over transfers and things like this, and he's rejected it. What I personally... I have some sympathy with the journalists because it is their job, and it's very clear that a lot of people knew something about this situation. I blame the club myself because even though they haven't briefed it, they've definitely spoken to McKenna last night. They've definitely been speaking to managers, and I would suspect actually that an agent has been running around telling everyone, and one of the journalists has just had to go because it's their job. So I wouldn't necessarily blame the journalists because they are literally just doing their job. I think we should look more at the club because there's never been any communication with fans or with players. Well, as far as we know, certainly not with fans. And it's been announced now. And I mean, I don't think, Dora, you disagree with this decision, do you?
No, I think this was expected, especially after the run that this team went on to have a bad run, a negative run after Christmas, especially. I think before Christmas we were poor, at the beginning of the season. Then we kind of balanced it out, around Christmas, with Højlund scoring a lot of goals, 6-7 goals in a row, which helped us tremendously. But then after that, everything went back to that, poor form. And look, I mean, there were rumors that Louis van Gaal said to Ten Hag to never come to United. I think there were some reports about that. I I was, done with the manager around Christmas. However, I believe that he came to the wrong time at the club, and unfortunately, I don't think after 2 seasons, despite being third last season and get that cup, he's just not built for this league. Bad time. I don't know what you think. It's just the way we played throughout the whole season, the way he set up the players and the team every single game, the formations. It's just, I think that was too, some people are going to say suicidal, too bold, too risky. And I think it reflected to our results and batterings this season. I mean, we were battered by mid-table clubs this season, which is uncalled for the club of Manchester United. And, before people say, oh, the players are shit, blah, blah, some of them are. But if you look at the value of that first 11, of that squad, not first 11, the whole squad, is over 700 million euros. We are we have one of the most expensive squads in the world. And that's not necessarily Ten Hag's fault, right? The negotiations by Joe Murto and, the other guys, Hargreaves and all those people are not, not very good because we've been rinsed for years. But I mean, saying that, all 25 players are bums and, they ruined Ten Hag at the club is just, I think, it's not correct. And, thank you for that cup. Hopefully we win something tomorrow. I would be glad, not just for us, but for the players and the manager. And it would be a great farewell at the end of the day. It's an experiment, and, around that didn't work out. And yeah, we will see who will we get for the next season.
Yeah, I think you make some pretty valid points. Look, I've always been I've been Ten Hag out for a very, very long time. Even in the summer, we lost a lot of subscribers when I went on my rant about how I felt that Ten Hag should be replaced. Oh look, it's Emma Kay has popped in. Hello, Emma. Yeah, I think that this is. I think that's a good point, Emma, and something I'm leading to, which is I don't like a lot of things Ten Hag has done on and off the pitch, but no man deserves this. It's a public humiliation before a final. I even felt that he was very, very lucky to survive the second international break, McTominay against Brentford. I think that he probably might have been. I think he would have been replaced if we'd lost at home to Brentford. I think his talent ID is something that we can criticize him for, when I genuinely don't believe that he signed a good player for Manchester United. I include Martinez and Casemiro in that. I think that they're not players that are going to really get you anywhere. But what I do want to be is I want to be a little bit positive about Eric, because this is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. But saying that, it is the correct decision, and it's one that's been on the wall for a very, very long time. I'm just really upset that the club have been so negligent in putting themselves in a position for this information to leak. And I mean, what are the? I mean, is a player like Aaron Wan-Bissaka now thinking, do you know what? I'm not gonna move until I've spoken to the new manager. Or is, on the other hand, someone like Bruno saying look, this is a disgrace, I'm off. Is Martinez a player that most people like? You're just going to say, right, I can easily go and play for Inter Milan or AC or whatever. And who knows? I mean, Ten Hag, he might be announced as the Barcelona manager on Monday or something.
It's Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick. It's right, confirmed. Yeah.
Right. So is Vincent Kompany confirmed at Bayern?
I think it's very close. I think after 5 minutes, they reported that he's very keen on it. I think it's almost as confirmed.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's basically a done deal. And Chelsea is really the only sort of big... Chelsea and Manchester United, therefore, are the only big jobs in European football open at the moment.
Yeah, I think that, Juventus got Thiago Motta, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a good... I think that's correct, actually. Yeah.
All right. And we've also got Ed Mayhem that's joined us. He's fuming. He's always been Ten Hag in, players out. Company's close, finalising the deal. Yeah, I think companies. I think companies are kind of done deal. And what has sort of, I think what's driven all of this on is actually what's happened at Chelsea, because Poch leaving and De Zerbi leaving at Brighton appears to have completely like sped up all the sort of management. It's like dominoes or whatever. I forgot actually the Brighton job is available. That actually might suit Ten Hag quite well. And that we've got Agile Beast who's popped in. At least Van Gaal got the final. Can we expect anything less from a petrochemical tax elite exile? Disgrace. I know. I don't want to get banned, so sorry for swearing. I'm not going to ban you, Ed. I don't actually even have access to the United Agenda YouTube account at the moment. So literally anyone can put what they want in and we can't do anything about it. That's the kind of channel we are. All right. Let's talk about replacements, Dora. It looks like there are four big names in the ring. Mm-hmm. Actually, just before that, is there any? Do you think that it's possible that Fletcher or McLaren walk the team out at Wembley and we don't see Ten Hag?
No, I think he will get his last game, and then he will go.
What will the reception be like, do you think, from United fans?
I mean, it depends on the result. I think at the beginning, like, what I noticed. Look, I'm not a match-going fan. I'm a foreigner. I'm not going to the games. But what I heard from some of the match-going fans who are regularly going, there are a lot of people who are not happy with. I mean, they are paying a massive amount of money to watch the team that has been battered every single game, almost every single game. A lot of people are not happy, not just with the players, but they're not happy with the manager as well. I mean, they've been seeing that every game. I think at the beginning of the game, he's going to get a great reception, of course, because United fans are United fans. They're always going to back up their team. But I'm not sure that he's going to have that good of a reception if we get better tomorrow. But I mean, it depends. I think it depends on the result that time, in all honesty.
Yeah.
If he get better, he's going to get booed off that pitch. If he won a cup, they're going to celebrate him, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the other thing to bring up is that this is probably the one manager where I don't think players have thrown him under the bus. I think that, like, you look at Garnacho, you look at McTominay, you look at Bruno, look at Rasmus Højlund, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, Onana. I think that they've all played for him. And I would really hope that the team that they give him a send-off as well. Like, because Louis van Gaal, he's always got that cup. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's always got that. But for bloody like Ten Hag to just be humiliated publicly and then to get a walloping at Wembley, it's not what Manchester United are about. And look, Mr. B is saying everyone's allowed to swear. Mr. B is so rogue, isn't he? We've got DK Wilson, so I hope Ten Hag sends him out playing exactly the same style he was hired to play. This is good, actually. PSG jobs available. Which, I mean, that's the end of Rashford to PSG if Ten Hag goes, I would imagine.
Like, who would you want? Who would you want the better time? I mean,
for manager?
We have... Yeah, for manager. I mean, who is it? Tuchel, De Zerbi, Pochettino, McKenna. Who else?
Well, yeah, I think that the main ones are McKenna, Tuchel, Pochettino, and De Zerbi. I think that those are the four. If it's De Zerbi, it's a done deal, and it doesn't make any sense. Right, because De Zerbi has left and has signed a contract with someone else, and it's been kept quiet who that contract is with. So I think we can take De Zerbi off the table. Tuchel, I think that there's been so much uncertainty with is Tuchel staying or going that it's only really sort of been established in the last week that Bayern can get a manager in to replace him in Vincent Kompany. They've had petitions about Ragnick and stuff. So if it's true that this has all been in preparation since the Arsenal game, I think we can rule Tuchel out. So the two that come to it, I mean, I want Thomas Frank, by the way, but the two that come to it then are Pochettino, who walked away early, and McKenna becoming a target for a lot of clubs. It would stand. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Bless you. Are you one of those that are sneezing 2-3 times in a row?
Two times in a row. I go off like a volcano, Dora, and an ejaculate of nasal fluid everywhere. I think so. I think that what we can. This is just speculation, but I'm trying to be logical. I think that what we can go off is that McKenna coming into the ring has sped everything up, and we know that. So McKenna, it's really weird, right? McKenna was fired as a coach 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and he's now basically the favourite to come back 2 years later as manager. I'm just going to quickly do some comments whilst you protest that. But look, we've got everyone in the house now. We've got UK strains. I mean, obviously, mate, we're all livid. I'm not against sacking Ten Hag, but it's the timing of it. I remember on this channel, I went absolutely mental a couple of years ago when Pogba tried to engineer a move before a Champions League game, and it completely disrupted the entire squad. And I think that this is similar. I'm so angry. Right, DK Wilson thinks McKenna. Ed Mayhem, the club is breaking his heart again. And speaking of heartbreakers, Emma Kay is saying it's ridiculous. We've got JR in the house. Hello, JR. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Big G just pops in to say that I sound a bit like a wet wipe. It's not. I'm not so upset about Erik Ten Hag, I suppose, Big G. I'm more upset about how we're handling it as a club. It's not the Manchester United that we know and deserve. It's under a new regime. Although I have seen stories that the Glazers are driving this, but it's all breaking news. So, like, lots of people are just making things up. McKenna was assistant manager when Ollie was managing. He knows the club better than all the other candidates. I believe it was Carrick that was assistant manager and McKenna was the coach. But they were definitely a kind of think tank, as it were. Who is going to say yes to this circus? That's good.
McKenna.
McKenna wasn't fired.
Yeah, I think he left in the end.
Okay. Maybe now he has the balls to say, okay, who the F cares? We need to be more ruthless like Real. For instance, booing shit players is now necessary. It's an interesting point, Beefy Mario, about how we should be. I'm not sure we should be celebrating this because you're right. We do need like sort of higher standards. We need to expect more from our football club. But part of that isn't just how we perform on the pitch. It's how we act as a football club. And I think that that's where most of the anger is coming from, is that I would suspect that 60 or 70% of the people watching, leave likes and all that, lads. I think that most people would accept and want Ten Hag to be fired. So it's not the fact of it, it's the method that is so disappointing because it's disruptive on Cup Final Eve. All right, Dora, who do you think is going to take over and who do you want to take over?
Oh, God. I don't know. Honestly, I'm so baffled by all of the whole situation. I mean, it's too fast. I mean, I'm not, used to us. Maybe not for a very long time. I'm not sure. I'm honestly, I'm baffled by the whole situation. I think the commentators or chatters are right. I think we are going to get McKenna. And look, with all due respect to him, he did a great job with Ipswich. He got them promoted 2 times. Great, right? But I think he needs to just stay at Ipswich 1 season in the Premier League and see how are you going to do. I don't know why are we, so obsessed with getting, young managers and all that. But
Dora, do you think that the performance of Vincent Company in the Championship, in the Premiership this season, might affect McKenna? Because now his stock is at an all-time high. You're right, he's got back-to-back promotions, and you would think, a bit like Xabi Alonso over in Germany, who would want to crack at the Champions League, that McKenna should be like, right, I've come up with this team, we should go and try it out. But they're probably going to get relegated next year, and this might be his only chance at sort of springboarding into the elite clubs.
Why United need to be that elite club? I mean, look, I haven't watched Ipswich that much. I don't watch Championship. With all honesty, I suppose that they did very well. They got promoted. Kudos to them. But it's just this obsession, with getting young managers who, like, even though he was a coach at United, he didn't prove anything in the elite tier of football. And now, I think Ineos wants to do the same thing that Arsenal is doing with Arteta, get the young manager, who was part of the club once upon a time. He has, good, I would say, good foundations. He will learn on the job, but he will, get the players, playing, and this will be a process. And I'm not sure if I like it that much. I know a lot of, chatters are going to disagree with me, but I don't think that you can copy paste what other, clubs are doing, every single thing and expect that it's going to get good. Like it will, if he gets that job, we are going to,
That's what we did with Ten Hag, wasn't it? We tried to copy paste Ajax.
Exactly. I think that's a good point. And Ten Hag just, he gave up. He didn't want to do it anymore because he couldn't. But he said it himself. We are never going to play against like Ajax. I'm not trying to do that. He said it in the post-match interview once when we lost heavily against a mid-table club, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just, I think it's too early. Honestly, like, I know people are going to attack me. Like, I prefer Tuchel in this situation. Pochettino he's one of those guys that, he's, attractive in terms of, he did great things with Tottenham. PSG, he was, under a lot of pressure. He had Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. He had to deal with them. It was hard. They're,
I'd quite like to deal with them, to be honest. Like,
I mean, yeah, and he got to Chelsea. They started very, very poorly. They signed 20 players, and then finally, out of nowhere, in the last 5, 6, 7 games, they started playing, and all of a sudden, they are all of a sudden, in the Champions League, or not in the Champions League, in Europe.
They're in Europe. They took our place in Europe, and they look
exactly. And
they look really
he got
good
sacked
the next season.
Yeah, and he got sacked, and it's so hard. Tuchel at the end of the day, like, he's more experienced. He understands Premier League. He's been here.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer him more than the other guys. McKenna is just too young. I think he needs at least one.
I want to move on to McKenna's
football to come to us.
Hang on. I want to move on to McKenna's inexperience and talk about that guy I told you about earlier. But I also want to go through the chat because I understand that people are really, they've got lots to say about this. First off, UK Strain say, imagine Ten Hag right now thinking he's going to be sacked for the biggest game of the season. I think UK Strains, it's more that he knows that everyone knows. Ten Hag will have known already. It's now everyone knows. It's a bit of a public humiliation. DK Wilson is saying this is a super crass move. From what I've learned, I can totally see Jay Glazer doing this. What have you learned, DK Wilson? And look at this. It's Lucky Singh, and he's saying Tuchel in. Now, Lucky, was I right in thinking you wanted Pochettino in? Have you always been Tuchel in? Ipswich will be getting relegated next season. McKenna is better than them. And also, up until, Adama Lukman scored a hat-trick in the cup final recently. And a lot has been made of, what's that guy? Stuart Parker? Someone like that? Scott Parker. Scott Parker had a Fulham team that had a lot of very good players in it who have all gone on to do good stuff. Scott Parker was seen as the great hope of British coaching about 3 or 4 years ago. Every sort of UEFA Pro license person used to speak about him. And I think that there are cautionary tales in football, and Scott Parker is one of them. And people like McKenna with such a reputation will understand that it's a bit like a player going to Real Madrid. You might say it's too early for Garnacho to go to Real Madrid, for example. But if you get the opportunity, you never know when it's going to come again. So you just take it and hope that you can stand up to it. And this is where I think McKenna is coming from. Ed is swearing, but anyone that comes in gets the same crap. For fuck's sake. Excuse me for swearing. Well, actually don't. Like, tell Ed off. Right, JR, you've brought up one of the bête noirs of this channel, which is that we regularly have arguments about the film RoboCop. I think that it is amazing, but other people don't. I
love RoboCop.
Nagelsmann. Oh, it's brilliant. Okay, so McKenna was good with United Juniors. That's true. This is interesting. McKenna has done his job getting them to the Premier League. Ruben Amorim, I believe he is he the sporting manager?
Yeah. He won twice the league in Portugal, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he the guy that flew to West Ham and didn't get the job?
I'm not sure, maybe. But there is he's the guy also that Sporting put a release clause on him. So even if we want him right now, and tomorrow Ineos goes to Lisbon and tries to take him, we are going to have to pay 40 million euros for him. He's like a player.
Okay, right. Yeah. No. Right, Emma's saying I wouldn't mind getting someone like Xavi and go full on youth project, even if we finish 15th.
Oh yeah.
This is something that we're going to discuss, Emma, and I think you might be right here. I don't get the hesitation. He knows what's up there. He was also on the bench with Ollie. Yes, no? Or Poch, no way he's getting the job. Do you not think so, UK Strains?
I mean, he's been flirting with United for years. Since Alex Ferguson left, yeah.
I mean, we know that it was essentially between Poch and Ten Hag, wasn't it? Like last time around, and they took the bold decision to go with Ten Hag, and I think they might go for the safe one. But Lucky wants McKenna in. Sorry, Lucky wants Tuchel in. Excuse me, my friend. Brian, I'm not sure I've seen you before, but McKenna is not the man we need. I'd love you to tell us why, if you can, in the comments, because we're going to discuss it now. We were never going to play like Ajax comment really disappointed me and doubted my belief he was a long-term manager for me. Yeah, I mean, there were other stuff he did, agile, but I agree. Yes, bath time. Beware the football hipster's choice. Scott Parker was that 3 years ago. Where is he now? Exactly, JR. He genuinely was like, he was in the same way that Southgate was kind of like the star of his generation in FA coaching courses. It was Scott Parker. And you always want to look at these sort of people, see where they end up and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got Felix. We got Flex Felix. My apologies. How are you? So is De Zerbi's contract with the secret team sorted out and it is not United? I'm of the belief it's not United, Flex, because I think it would have leaked earlier. I believe it's McKenna that has kind of brought everything out into the open. So let's talk about McKenna. First of all, Dora, there was a Chelsea manager a very long time ago called Andre Villaboas, who later went on. Mr. B once told me he went on to win some sort of Dakar rally race or something. Right. What do you know about McKenna?
Well, I know that he was at Spurs before he came to United. He was a coach there. Probably the youth team once again. He went to United. He coached the youth teams, as DK Wilson mentioned in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me right. And when Ole got appointed, he took McKenna from the youth team, and he started. He put him as his coach, right? I'm not sure what he coached. Was he a defensive coach? Was he an attacking coach? I'm not sure. Or maybe he was just, a general coach, I would say. I don't know how you are more familiar with that.
According to Wikipedia, he was hired as the head of academy performance analysis at Spurs. He was offered the role of an academy coach at Liverpool, turned it down. And then when he joined United, he joined the academy setup, becoming the club's under-18 manager, and then obviously flew through the ranks. And as Flex is pointing out in the comments as well, he also was... Oh, I didn't know you were in Vancouver, Flex. He also was with the Vancouver Whitecaps, and is probably the guy that... it's very well known that we were recommended Alphonso Davies years before anyone knew that he was going to turn into a good one. And it was probably McKenna that recommended him. So it looks like from him being at Spurs, he was instantly identified across the big clubs as someone with a huge amount of talent. Like, I suspect it might have been Nicky Butt that would have signed him, because Nicky Butt would have been head of the academy then. He was sacked a little bit later for Brian Cox. Okay, but it's his age, Dora, is the first thing that comes to my mind. I mean, is he too young? I mean, 38, I believe he is.
Yeah. I mean, he's like Villas-Boas, when he came from Porto, right, to Chelsea, and I think it was a disaster. I mean, Chelsea, I think he got sacked after one season, half season. I know there was, his brief stint. It was a disaster for Chelsea because they wanted, of course, win now. And then after that, he kind of he went to Russia. He was, but what I want to say, right? He was at Porto. He did good in the Portuguese league. He came to a big job in Chelsea where they were, they wanted.
But it was the players, wasn't it? The players didn't respect him.
I think so. Yeah, because he was too young.
Terry Lampard, right? Do you think that McKenna, right? He was essentially, like, I don't want to do him down and say he put the cones out and stuff like this, but he was the junior member of the coaching staff of Carrick and Ollie. And now he's coming back 2 years later. Do you think Bruno, Rashford, McTominay, Maguire, all these players are going to listen to him and take him seriously after back-to-back promotions?
I think they would be glad to see a familiar face. I mean, the last time we played well, it was, with his tutelage and, under Ole, in all honesty, right? That was the last time we actually played really well. Just a moment, someone is calling me. Can you please?
Yes. Dora's going to have to go soon. But one thing that I will say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager and that coaching team is that we've seen Carrick go and do better than expected at Middlesbrough. And I always say this, is that people always said that Ole had no tactics and stuff. To my mind, Ole was the first of the top four to play a box midfield in the Premier League. He used to do it with Martial and Pogba when either of them played left wing. We've seen that Ole's had decent results, and Carrick really impressed me, to be honest, in the 3 games that he had. I think that he that was the best setup I saw from Manchester United manager since Fergie. I think that on the sort of like the technical side, in terms of improving players, McKenna could probably do that. I think in terms of setting up a team to defend in a low block, to attack low blocks, all the different phases of the game, I think McKenna can do all that. It's, once again, in the same way it was with Ten Hag, I think it's about personality. The Manchester United job is something else. And I'm not sure being at Ipswich prepares you for it. I'm not sure being a coach at United prepares you for it. What are you thinking, Dora?
I'm curious. Like, I think we discussed a lot this season. Who are we going to get rid of? A lot of players are, on the verge of, their last years of the contract. Some of them are going to be free agents. Some of them, are probably waiting for a new contract. I'm curious to see if, McKenna is, he knows some of these players, as you mentioned, McTominay, McIntyre, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, and, mostly the English, lads. It will be interesting to see how he is going to deal with that. But as you said, he will I think the board is going to, as you said, probably Ten Hag probably, didn't want to, let go of his, how do you say it? He was in charge. He could veto the transfer. He was,
yeah,
and all this stuff. McKenna is probably going to say, okay, we are going to play like this. He is going to talk it out with the board, with Wilcox or whoever, and they are going to recommend him players, and he will probably say, okay, I'm cool with it, and I think that's also a huge factor why would he come in.
Yeah.
When it comes to locker room and all that, I think they will respect him. I mean, I'm not like, especially the English lads. I mean, they know him. He's been here before. It will be interesting to see how the newer players, for example, someone like Onana and Martinez and all that. But they didn't throw Ten Hag under the bus. I don't think they will.
I mean, Anthony, I feel, has thrown Ten Hag under the bus, and I think that when McKenna comes in, I think you're completely correct. Like, people, certainly Manchester United fans, see the manager as an omnipotent figure that presides over the whole club. This doesn't happen in football. You have managers like Pep and Klopp have huge power at their club, but they work in a team. Like, famously, it was Julian Brand, I think, that Klopp wanted, and he was given Salah instead. And Tiki Birkenstein, Juanma, all these people at City form a kind of brains trust with Pep. And I mean, I would be shocked if Pep actually wanted Doku. I think that they said, this is a part of the game that we struggle with. Let's get this player in, etc. Like, Doku is not a Pep Guardiola player, but he's been given him and he's tried to work with him and things. And I think that this is the model that most clubs are moving towards, because it means that it's very easy to sack a coach and get a new one in, because they're no longer a manager looking after contracts and stuff like that. They're literally setting the team up to play in a certain style. And I don't know a huge amount about McKenna, but it's his coaching, I believe, that has got Ipswich to the forefront. And like, look, I know you've got to go soon, so we'll do some comments quickly. I think McKenna is tactically sound, but I'm not sure he's big enough to control the dressing room. This is essentially what I feel. Barthan, tactically, what type of football does McKenna play? Possession, counter? I don't know, Big G. I have absolutely no idea, but I suspect that they build out of the back and play possession football. Hello, Bart. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. We've got Pa Nagwa. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name, and welcome to the Manchester United agenda, Pa. But Ten Hag and Rashford should be the first to go. United have no left back, no striker, or actually players playing with no heart, with the exception of Onana and Bruno. I think you have to add Evans, Maguire, and McTominay into that. They've all played injured and so on. Heath has picked the team on Thursday. Anthony threw a wobbly and left training, apparently.
I mean, you know what? I think Ineos and McKenna or whoever need to get rid of these guys sooner than later.
Who, Anthony?
Yes, he needs to go. Like, if you don't want to play, if you don't want to, adapt to the team, to their needs, sacrifice yourself, even though despite you knowing that you're throwing stinkers every single week, I think he needs to go. Like, I'm sick and tired of these players. He can throw a wobbly in the Brazilian league or someone else. I don't have patience for that, and I don't think McKenna will have it, in all honesty, if he gets appointed.
Yeah, this is a Twitter story, I assume, but picking the team on Thursday does sound correct to me. That does sound correct to me. And Anthony going mental sounds correct to me as well.
Yeah.
But maybe we're being done. Bart is saying, I'm certain it wouldn't be McKenna. It would be De Zerbi whose release contract was activated. I kind of went through at the start of the show, Bart, about how I thought De Zerbi and Tuchel were not the ones. And Charlie McNeil, the striker, has left United after 4 years.
Yep.
This is why you should stay away from the youth team, in my feeling. Everyone says this player is going to be amazing, that player is the answer. Just wait and see, until they get in the squad. All right, Dora, you have to leave, don't you now?
Yeah.
All right, give us your final thoughts, and I'll carry on with the comments for 5 minutes or so.
You know what? I am. I am not opposed to Ten Hag leaving. I've said it multiple times on this stream. I didn't like the way we played, the way the whole dynamic with the players, with the media. I didn't like it. I don't feel that Ten Hag is a manager for Manchester United, especially in the Premier League. If he goes to the other club, he will probably be good because they are playing, differently, right? This just doesn't suit his coaching and whatever. But as we said it multiple times, I feel gutted for him because he's getting embarrassed by the English media, not just English media. I think everyone all over the world, everyone is watching, seeing him getting blasted from every single angle. And we need to play a cup final tomorrow, and I don't wish that, as you said, on my worst enemy. I think it's another plot of English media to disrupt Manchester United and get clicks, but it is what it is, right? On the other side, the club didn't do him any favors. They're having secret meetings with the other managers, and it's also stings. Also, a reminiscent to Van Gaal situation where we got Mourinho. Apparently, Mourinho's agent or whoever leaked that Van Gaal is going.
Yeah.
That was a shit show as well. Yeah, I hope that we play well tomorrow. That he is going to have a good farewell from the club with a win. Hopefully, not just for the Manchester United fans, the players, but for him. And whoever comes in for the next season, is it going to be McKenna, De Zerbi, whoever? I wish them all the best. I will wait and see. I will not jump on the manager immediately. I waited with Ten Hag how he's going to pan out. I will wait for the new manager as well. So, yeah, hopefully, this whole situation and shit show in the media will not disrupt the players for tomorrow. But yeah, this is my thoughts. All respect and good luck to Ten Hag in his further career. I think he will, wherever he goes, it will be much better than here. That's for sure. So
Okay.
yeah, I will. Thank you guys. See you probably next week, right?
Yes,
next week.
I hope so.
I hope
right.
so. Yeah.
Dora,
Bye,
thank
guys.
you so much for coming.
Yeah.
You've really saved our bacon tonight. So go and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too. And tell me later about the Planet of the Apes. I'm really curious about that.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so as some of you can see, I've popped the link in the chat. If anyone wants to come on, don't be a dickhead. If I know you, you can come on and you can have your say. But if no one wants to come on, I'll engage with the comments for a couple of minutes and then we'll finish because it's big news and you're our community and we like to share it all with you. So first of all, Big G is saying, if it's McKenna, it'll be interesting to see whose backroom staff will be. I've got a feeling we'll see quite a few ex-players in the structure. Well, I think Tom Huddleston has also gone today, Big G, and you make a really interesting point that I haven't considered, which is, will Steve McLaren stay on? Like, if we've got a young manager at the club, we'll need someone with a huge amount of experience to come in. I don't bloody believe it. I'm shocked and stunned to see it's our good friend Andy Tate. First of all, Andy, okay, goodbye. We'll see if Andy comes back. But yeah, so to get back to that, it's interesting what will happen. Donald Love, do you remember him, Agile Beast? Good lad. Ten Hag gave more opportunities than he deserved. Time to say goodbye to Anthony. I agree. Mitesh Patel, my apologies, is saying goodbye to Dora. We've got lots of people saying goodbye to Dora. Would you like David Moyes back? Now's not the time, but yeah, Andy, come back. He's back now. We'll see if it's working. Andy, can you hear me? We can see you and we can hear you. All right, Andy's having some connection problems. I'm just going to check. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've been on the old lapper, so.
It's all right, Andy. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend. I hope that your family are well, and you've enjoyed your holidays and so on.
Cheers. Yeah, doing okay. But say, last few hours been a shit show, hasn't it? So yeah.
All right, talk to me. Tell me how you're feeling.
Disappointed to do this before the cup final. So players have already got the excuses ready. So looks like it already. Players are going to get another chance next season. It's a shit show. I'm on the fence with Ten Hag, but it all varies as well. Second rate, Kieran McKenna 2.0, David Moyes 2.0. He's more like. I've got nothing against him. He never did anything last time. So you're going to manage a bunch of spoiled little brats who love going on the piss, who love causing trouble. And I'm sick of these players. They'll get another chance. And if Ten Hag stays, then he's got to be ruthless. So I'm going to say I don't want McKenna, don't want Gareth Southgate. I would be interested in Tuchel or Maurizio. I would be interested. De Zerbi, you can jog on, you tart, as Del Boy would say. Honestly, I'm not interested. So we are Ineos, just like say Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe, two-faced Ineos, two-faced Jim Ratcliffe. Because a few weeks ago it was about the fans. It's all for the fans. The fans are the guardians. No, we're not. We ain't the guardians. You are the keepers, and you are the fans. Because if you're going down this route, then you know better than the slime that lives in Florida. No better.
And they'll have been consulted as well, the Glazers, on this. They'll, it's such a big decision that they're still owners and things. But Andy, tell me how you found out about this and what your initial reaction was.
I seen this about, was it 4:00, 4:15 on the socials, and the Guardian sort of released it, and it sort of span out of control. The Paddock were out with a video. Been watching them. Other channels as well. I was on with Mick Ruby before as well. Then you come on, bath time, and it's. I thought we had, I could say, an 80% chance now. 80% chance of maybe winning tomorrow. I just don't see it now because the players will just down tools again. If last year's not motivation, then what's the point? Honestly. It's been negative. Yes, you can criticise me. I say I don't care anymore. I think we all need this FA Cup final win. The fans need it more than a bunch of players, than this club. The fans need it more. They deserve it. Because the crap we've had to put up with week in, week out, with the excuses from management, the players. I seen Bruno Fernandes coming out with their speech today. Doesn't work, mate. And Ten Hag's speech against Newcastle, last game of the season. He did the same last year. Last home game against Fulham. It doesn't. These players will fight tooth and nail. Well, not after they know you're going, mate. They won't. They've already got the excuses in, and you know what? I'm glad Rashford's not playing in the Euros. You deserve everything you get, and that is nothing. I've heard players maybe coming back. Jadon Sancho. God, that'll be a Old Trafford will be a nasty place if he comes back. So I don't know with the players. I heard you say apparently Anthony threw a hissy fit.
That's Twitter story. Sounds true to me.
So the team's already been picked. It's been leaked. There's some slime in that dressing room. Mind you, there's some slime in that operations department as well. So, it's silly season now. And it's free reign. And whoever comes in, if we do get a new manager, I'll give it a month. So 6 weeks, they'll be on the new manager's case as well. Come Christmas, it won't last till Christmas.
Do you think out by Christmas?
Oh, of course he will. Because after the first 10 games, if Man United are not in the top 4, he's done. Ineos have basically shot themselves in the foot already, and they've not even loaded the gun because they're that fucking dumb.
All right.
You know what I mean? They've not loaded it, but they've already shot themselves in the foot.
I know it's passionate, Andy, but it's well before the watershed, and these little monsters in chat are not used to industrial language. It's all right. Let's see what they're saying. We've got Yank talking smack all the way from America, saying that he thinks firing Ten Hag is a terrible move. Understand possibly why they come to this decision, but I don't agree with it. And it was inevitable, Andy, wasn't it, that Ten Hag was going to go? It's just the timing that's so poor.
Well, it's not inevitable. Nothing's inevitable. To be fair, this could all be a smokescreen. It could be that the club have remained silent. Why don't they're going to have to spin some really positivity in the next few days. If we lose a cup final, United City are celebrating in Manchester on the tour on an open bus parade with 2 trophies again. Man United fans, I think they're going to be baying for blood. Whether it be, for Ineos, not the manager. Like I say, I'm still on the fence with the manager, but I've still got enough respect for him. But I think the fans will be baying for blood for Ineos, and they'll be baying for the players' blood. But it's comforting. You can disappear now because the Euros are coming, and you can all disappear to the far reaches of the cosmos and the planet. So you can disappear. So we have to go to work. We have to go to work Monday, whether it be bank holiday.
Yeah.
We go to work. You can disappear. Disappear. That's what you can do. JR, I'm not going tomorrow, so I'm staying in Manchester. I'm not Would you waste £300 on that? No, I'm not going tomorrow.
No, not a bit of jibbing.
I'm not jibbing. I'm not going, so I'm staying at home.
I know. Apparently, it's a very difficult jib now, Wembley, because of the Euros final. It used to be the easiest in the country. But we've got Agile Beast, who he's very impressed with your top. That's the Stone Roses collaboration one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's all right if you know the right people. It is
Nice.
back of a freewheel van. You know what I mean? With Del Boy written on it. So yeah, it's okay.
All right, we've got George Carl, who is absolutely delighted that Erik Ten Hag has gone. Each to their own.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion as long as it's not nasty. Like I say, I don't know where to stand on the fence now. Even Big G's coming in with comments as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult, isn't it? Because you lay the blame squarely at the feet of the players and a little bit with Ineos. So it's kind of like it's the biggest of all the evils.
A little bit with the manager. I'm still
a little bit
with, like you say, the lies. We played well. We've been one of the most attacking teams in the Premier League. Fans don't want to hear that, man. I mean, like the only bit of honesty there was we can't compete for the Premier League next season. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Ten Hag. That's it. And the rest has just been string us along. Like you say, if he knows something we don't and he's staying, then that's fine. But just don't take the fans for mugs. You are loyal. I know it's been a difficult season. You're damn right, mate. It has been a difficult season for everybody, but don't take the piss, man.
I think the only bit of honesty I can remember from Ten Hag was against Brentford. He said he took Casemiro off because he wanted to play football.
We never played football that game.
Yeah, we just hoofed it to Maguire and McTominay, and we won the Premier League. All right. Sorry, I haven't read your comment, Big G. As you said before, we are skint, so I think we'll need a proper clear out and lots of youth promoted to the first team. McKenna has had the most experience with United's youth setup. It's possible that the Ineos have looked at how we're dominating in the lower age groups and think that maybe we need a team to be brought to boil the way that Arteta has done at Arsenal, and it's 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, McKenna and the youth setup. Ten Hag has brought that youth setup through, and it's good. Like I say, Thomas Tuchel, I don't think he would embrace the youth setup. And I fear for the youngsters for next season. I mean,
if you're a Manchester United manager, it's part of the requirement.
I think Maurizio Pochettino, he could do that because he's got a good track record with youth. He's done it with Spurs. He did it with Southampton. So, but if Maurizio came in, he couldn't manage Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. How's he going to manage McTominay, Belfast Beppe, and Bruno?
The same level of skill, Mbappe and McTominay. Well, Bart is saying that Tuchel's not a good manager in the league. His PSG side never won a game away versus the top 6, and he won the Bundesliga by the skin of his teeth last season. All those things are true.
But he won it.
He did win it. And he won a Champions League as well. And
he won it, yeah. So, I don't know what you say, mate. We're in for a silly season, a silly summer. That's what we're in for.
And with the Euros as well, it's going to be so difficult to get players in and stuff. And we've got Garnacho, Martinez.
There's your excuse already. The Euros, we can't get any players. So, Scott McTominay, Rashford, Bruno, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, already got their excuses in because, they say, Maguire already in next season. Already, they're guaranteed the next season to start in that first Premier League match.
Well, if England get to the final, they're not allowed to. Why just have Rashford? But I mean, would you get rid of Bruno, Maguire, and McTominay?
I keep Bruno, but I would get rid of the other two. I would say this: if McKenna comes in, I won't be on board with it. But if you sell Rashford to develop youth and go from there, yes.
What if he signs Fred? What if the first move is United get Fred back?
You seriously haven't been at the alcohol very early tonight.
All right.
It's been happy hour for you. Has it been a happy hour?
It's always happy hour. I've only got 15 minutes, so I'm going to watch Planet of the Apes tonight. I'm really excited about it.
Sums up United at the moment, that Planet of the
exactly.
Apes. Planet of the nincompoops.
All right, we got Mitesh saying the cabinet looks empty, talking about like how, as fans, we need this win and we deserve it, and I will love it as well.
I don't deserving is one thing; you've got to earn it, and tomorrow, them players have to earn it, and so does the manager. So, I mean, if you're going to surrender, you might as well just give the trophy to City at 3:00.
I assume you know a lot of people that are going down tomorrow. What do you think the reception's going to be when they come out of the tunnel?
Oh, they'll back him. They'll back the players, and they'll sing Ten Hag's Red and White Army all game, all of them. But then, like I say, you will get the people who are happy. There's other YouTubers who are happy he's going, and But when what comes in starts not developing after 10 games, whoever comes in after 10 games, the start of next season, the knives are out already, mate. You watch it 10 games in. Whoever's the manager, the knives are out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. My knives were out for Ten Hag after 10 games last in his first season as well.
Whoever's the manager after 10 games now, the knives are out. Whether it be McKenna, whether it be Gareth Southgate, pray to God Jesus, it's not him.
The whole kitchen drawers open with Southgate at the moment. Like everything, spatulas, spoons, whisks. Like
I'll get a dartboard with Southgate. 1 bang. 2.
Like Luke Littler.
What?
Like Luke Littler. Just like darts. Standard or race. You're all right with Tuchel Pochettino. But it sounds to me that you're not all right with McKenna. Like a lot of doubts.
But you can get promoted from the Bundesliga, 3rd division, to the Bundesliga 1st division, where Bayern Munich are. Mm-hmm. And that's good. And you could hold your own, maybe like finish mid-table. But Jesus Christ, there's a hell of a jump with Ipswich.
Vincent Kompany.
Ipswich. Look, yeah, this is basically Vincent Kompany jumping to Bayern Munich. This is, like you say, it's not going to end very well for Vincent Kompany. It won't end very well for Kieran McKenna. Like I say, David Moyes 2.0, more like Michael Myers 2.0. It's going to be a nightmare for Kieran McKenna. Brighton would suit him more.
Yes, I agree. I think it's a bit like a player. Like if there's a player, the last player that tore it up in the Championship that successfully moved to the Premier League, I think was probably Robbie Keane at Wolverhampton Wanderers when he was like 19 or something.
Yeah, and I would put Ipswich on the same level as Brighton club-wise. I would have been promoted. So that level, if I say if he's been really Chelsea, if he wants to go to Chelsea, mate, it's about the payday. With United, it's about the payday. Stick to know what you're doing. And if Ipswich do well, if you take Ipswich to the Champions League, you finish in the top 5, top 4. All right, let's look at you in 12 months' time.
That would be bloody amazing. That'd be incredible. But look, George is agreeing with you. Talking about the players, the manager, the back row, just the whole club. They're all jokers. It's an absolute circus. Agile Beast, Brexit means Brexit. Certainly does. And we've got Ben, who I haven't seen before. If they show you pepper, my guy, make pepper soup. That's a very nice phrase, but I don't really know what it means. I suppose, is this like if you give lemons, make lemonade?
Possibly. I found out they do our White's lemonade lollipops last night and never knew they did. I'm a secret lemonade sucker. Yeah, I never knew that.
God, I might get on some of them over the weekend then.
I think I will do. Our White's lemonade lollies, but but...
Where are you watching the game tomorrow? Are you watching it?
I will be watching it. I'll be doing a little bit for the paddock. So,
you're in the studio.
If we win it, I'm getting blottoed because I think we all need it.
Yeah,
so I think I'll do a Stone Cold Steve Austin. 1 beer, 2 beer, 3 beer, 4 beer. Just crank them open and just do that. 5 beer, 6 beer, 7 beer, 8 beer, 9 beer. You know what I mean? So I've got a driving license. I'd probably go hire a pickup truck and drive down a little.
Just go and fuck up the city trip parade. They're coming on the bus on the
1
other
beer.
end.
Yeah, drive down Deansgate with a Man United pickup truck. Yeah, that'd be funny. That 1 beer, 2 beer, 3 beer, 115 beer.
Nice. The charges. Nice. Emma's saying they have to play at least for their pride. And look, Kate Cadet is saying, bloody hell, Bartho, it's the living legend, Andy Tate. We're always delighted to have you on. It's nice to see you.
Cadet, he must be really good in baking.
I hope so. Hopefully Ten Hag can cook something up tomorrow. Bart is saying that he agrees with you that Rashford needs to go. Bad influence.
I fear for the lads. I fear for them youngsters because they will get influenced. They will be contaminated, and they will get drawn into this toxic dressing room.
Yeah, I agree. Like Kobe Mainoo looks to have a really good sort of attitude and screwed on, but Garnacho is someone I think that can be led a little bit. Same with Rasmus Højlund, I just don't want them picking up bad habits. I wish we had a sort of an enforcer like Keane instead of Bruno to really get a hold of that dressing room and explain to them what you need to be a professional footballer and what you need to be a professional footballer that's a success at Manchester United, because those are two very different things. We've seen players like Seba Veron come in and fail, like Schweinsteiger.
I mean, I want to see players next season just run for their shirt. I think that's the bare minimum next season. Don't expect anything. Play some football and run for the shirt. And if you're still stinking the place out after 10 games, you know what? It's going to be a rough season.
Yeah, and I mean, look, JR has said that in XG, so expected goals, we finished 14th. We've been awful. Ben is saying Tape Man, Yawadon Gas. I don't know what that means, but I do quite like the Tape Man as a character. All right. George said we need to get rid of all these jokers who are always injured, which would be Shaw, Martinez, Malacia. Like, well,
Martinez, no, he was never injured. I mean, I would always say Martinez is very professional, very professional. I wouldn't say he would fake an injury. No. Other players, he would be the only one I would keep, Martinez, with a few of the youngsters.
how do you feel about Shaw?
I've had enough of him. He can just leave. I think he's a very two-faced, backstabbing slime ball. But I think, like I say, it is what it is. So people can have two sides to the personality. You know?
Yeah, I agree with
Maybe
that.
Mourinho bullying him did something to him. So
yeah, I mean, come on, bullying's an important part of growing up, in my view. It's like it leads you to develop the right behaviours. Speaking of the right behaviours, it's my friend and yours. It's Vicky. Hello, Vicky. I hope you're doing well. Rooney available for new manager. God, that would be amazing.
Plymouth Argyle, Green or me. That suit him. That all the Cornish pasties down there.
And we've got Chatsport who's saying hello. And Vicky has a question for you. Surprise, surprise. It's about Rafa Varane. Who do you see scoring tomorrow? Haaland, Foden?
Colby, or Ahmad. I'd say if we play Ahmad, we've got a chance. We start Rashford, you can write your obituaries already, because I'm not having it. If Rashford starts tomorrow, we ain't winning that final. We haven't got a chance.
I mean, I think that Rashford will 100% start. My concern with playing Ahmad is that, like, City's most common route into the penalty box is Rodri to Walker, and with Walker playing right back and Ahmad on the left, Ahmad's going to have to do a hell of a shift, and we know that his physical levels might not be there, and I suspect the thinking will be that Walker will need to leave, can't leave Rashford as much as he can leave Ahmad. So I would fully expect Rashford to start tomorrow. And I'm not saying I want him to, or it's deserved. I just think with Rashford's record against City, the threat that Kyle Walker brings offensively, I'd be stunned if Ahmad.
He had 3 1-on-1s and he fluffed a lot of them in the derby. He scored one worlder, and was it 5 minutes later he's through on goal and he fluffs it.
Yes.
It was Kyle Walker, it was down bearing on goal. Second half he does it. And that was it. The game was 1-0. It could have been 2-0. Then it was 1-1. Then he had another 1-on-1 where we could have gone to 2-1. So it's about, like you say, it's not about. It's got to be every second, every game. It's not a moment in time football. At the moment, Rashford is a moment in time footballer. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, is that in a cup final, it is moments that get you, like, over the line. I mean, if you're going to say who do I think is most likely to score tomorrow, it's Bruno Fernandes, and it's from a penalty.
You know what? As long as we don't concede after 10 seconds, I'm.
That's an improvement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper needs to be on his game tomorrow as well. Like I say, I will not tolerate a crap performance from a keeper. It's almost 25 years to Matt Busby's birthday this weekend, and it's just gone 25 years since we won a part of an FA Cup. So I won the FA Cup, man. I really want it.
I wonder if this could be a Jim Leighton moment for Onana. Like, I feel that with the new manager coming in, how he was, like, almost single-handedly responsible for us exiting Europe before Christmas. We've seen an improvement in Onana in the dog leg of the season.
You could see a less Sealer.
Yeah.
God rest him. You could.
So for our younger viewers, like, Leighton was a goalkeeper that was it Palace, like, semi-final. He got dropped.
Palace 3-3, and he was dropped for the replay. And Les Sealer came in, and we won the FA Cup. And Les Sealer established himself as the main keeper for the following season before we bought Peter Schmeichel. So yeah,
had lovely teeth as well, Jim Leighton. All right, new manager bounce incoming. That would be incredible. That would be incredible if that's
Like
the thinking.
switch.
Yeah.
Man United are like a dimmer. Switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. Oh, new manager bounce. Like I say, the players will down tools, mate, again. A new manager
I don't
bounce.
think they will. Do you think they've down tools for Ten Hag?
Of course they have. Of course they have.
I think only Anthony and Rashford have really down tools for Ten Hag, and maybe Shaw if he's not fit, and then possibly Varane. I'm not sure. Like Varane's had a really good injury record by his standards this year, but he did kind of have a fight with Ten Hag midway through the season. But I think Bruno, McTominay, Maguire, Amrabat, Kobe, Garnacho, Rasmus. I don't think any of them have down tools, as it were.
I don't think the fans will tolerate a one-sided derby tomorrow. If we get embarrassed and get pumped, the fans won't tolerate it. Because
that's the end for Bruno, I think, if we get pumped tomorrow.
If we get pumped tomorrow and they're all crying, we're sorry, and then all by the youngsters, they can all leave. Seriously, there's no way back. We get pumped tomorrow. I mean, Celtic and Rangers are playing at the same time. Now there's going to be absolute rivalry, and everybody's going to kick the seven bells out of each other. That's how United should be tomorrow. That's how that's what it should be mean. That's what it should mean tomorrow. Look at Celtic and Rangers tomorrow. Rangers have just lost the Premier League. Celtic have won a 3-pair. Man City have won a 4-pair. And this is what United should need. They need that mentality that Rangers are going to use tomorrow. Just go for it. Don't roll over and die and have your belly tickle like a puppy. Just go for it. Kick the shit out of him if you have to.
They've got to wake up tomorrow. Like on Sunday, regardless of what happens, the Man City players have got to wake up in pain. For me, like they have to have thought, they have to be like, Jesus, I never want to play a football match like that again. Like Martinez biting people's ears off, like Mike Tyson.
I won't go that far, but if Man City win it, you push him, Man United. Then them City players will go, bloody hell, we got away with that, didn't we? We got away with that. They kicked the seven bells out of us. Like it may not be the prettiest way to win a final, but if that's your only option, you say kick them off the park, mate. If you can't beat them, go at them.
Yeah. Well, like, look, we've got one of my favourite chatters. It's Stephanie Griffiths, the full-time mod for every single United channel, and she's saying hello to you, Andy. Are you suggesting we kidnap City players for waking up in pain? Absolutely. I'm calling for violence, George. I am obviously not. And Marco Julio, Jadon is back. Jadon Sancho. I don't know about that, but Donny van der Beek is bloody back again. Can't get rid of him. We've got Bilal. Andy's getting technical again. Look, boys and girls, I have a ticket booked to watch Planet of the Apes, so I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go. But it's always a delight to speak to Andy, and I hope you've enjoyed your time off social media. And you went on holiday, didn't you?
Yeah, I went away for a bit, and I enjoyed my rest. So I've got to get ready for work now. So I'll be doing that. I'll be watching tomorrow, and I shall see you guys soon.
All right. Well, from everyone at the United Agenda, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, and I hope that you can get through this evening without Manchester United just ruining everything, as they tend to.
All right, guys. Take care. God bless, and have a good Friday night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.